Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous. Now look, I don't want to be accused of being biased, favoring one political party or point of view over another. Those of us who are in journalism, not that I'm in journalism, I'm a science nerd snooping around for truth, are not supposed to allow our passions to distract us, right? Well, I got news for you. Every single scientist on the face of the earth is as distracted by his passions and previous commitments as any of the rest of us. I am a registered Democrat. I have strong prejudices against my Republican friends. No, not my friends, for God's sakes, but Republicans in general in the abstract. And even though I love my Republican friends, and even though my Republican friends often point out vital truths to me, like Obama lies about Muslim extremism, they are right, I am wrong. Okay, that's as close to unbiased as you'll ever find me. But the fact is, at least from my highly biased point of view, the Republican Party has popped us into a 12-cylinder Jaguar and is driving us at top speed down a highway whose bridge collapsed a long time ago and is about to hurl us over a cliff. It's called suicide driving. They might as well be wearing explosives and suicide bombing. They are playing around with the American economy. They are threatening to collapse the entire global economy. I mean, it's like Samson pulling down the pillars of the temple, forgetting that when the roof falls, he is fragile and will be crushed. Not to mention that all the other folks in the congregation will be crushed as well. Not a fair thing to do, kids in the Republican Party, you little Tea Party and libertarian squirts, much as I like some of your libertarian ideas. What the hell am I talking about? Right now, the Tea Party folks are exulting, bring down the government, bring down the government, bring down the government, they're shouting. They're absolutely certain that if they take America into a government shutdown, and if they renege on the American debt, they'll win big time, and nothing bad will happen. Why? Because they've got an idea. And their idea is that if you eliminate the government, paradise will flourish on the face of the earth. Government is the source of all problems. Individual initiative and a gun I can wave around and kill the entire family. Hey, that's freedom. That's the free market. I got news for you. Your money, your savings account, your credit card are only worth something so long as other people believe in you, so long as other people feel that if they lend you money, you will pay them back, so long as other people believe that if they invest $10 in something that you are going to carry forward, they'll get $12 back. And when you say to them, screw you, buddy, I've borrowed all this money from you, I'm not going to pay it back, they stop lending you money in the future. Now, you may think that only Democrats borrow money, that only liberals borrow money. No, bozo, you borrow money, I borrow money. All of us borrow money. It's how an economy works. It's how a free market works. And when people cease to believe in money, we have something that in the old days is called a panic. And in the old days, when you went down to your savings bank to get your savings out, there were no savings left. Today, we've avoided that. We just had a panic. We just had a huge panic. It was brought about by Republican Party policies. Hey, remember how George Bush told us that reducing taxes was going to make the economy flourish? And he reduced and reduced and reduced until he threw us into a furious, humongous debt. And remember how he ran 2 wars, one of which was about weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist, on a credit card, and wouldn't even put it on the budget? I mean, give me a break about Republican Party policies producing prosperity. Not only was growth extraordinarily sluggish under George Bush, we had the biggest crash since 1929 to 1939. Now, the only reason you didn't notice to the extent that your grandparents did was because you could go down to the bank and get your savings out, and your credit card still worked. Why? Because of a policy actually George W. Bush put in place, pumping huge amounts of money into the economy, stimulus money that Republicans blamed on Obama. But Bush did it, and it was wise to do. Why? Because it kept the world credit system from collapsing the way it collapsed in 1932. Because if it had collapsed totally, your credit card would have been useless. Your bank account would have been useless. Without a liberal plan, FDIC, Federal Bank Deposit Insurance, there would have been no money in your savings bank. And you would have done what your great-grandparents did in periods of panic. You would have starved and been thrown out of your apartment because you couldn't have paid your rent. And that is going to happen if you continue, if the Republicans are allowed to continue fucking around with the economy, shutting down the government, bankrupting us, declaring bankruptcy, saying we won't repay our loans, because right now America is doing better than Europe, far better. Is it because of Republican Party policies? No, the Republicans don't happen to be in power. We're doing far better than anybody else because the rest of the world believes in us. And when things teeter in India, when things totter in China, when things go bad in Greece, where do they put their money? America. They're giving you their money to play with. Lose their confidence and you'll lose their money. Lose their money and you can no longer go down to the Radio Shack and buy, God knows if you can buy an iPhone, but you won't be able to buy an iPad, you won't be able to buy an iPhone, you won't be able to buy any of the wonderful Googles, the MP3 players that you and I love that expand the qualities of our lives. Why? Because they come from China, and if American money is worthless, it'll cost you $1,000 to get a gadget that costs you $100 today. That will put you and me in poverty. Add that to the fact that my Republicans friends would like to remove health care from anybody who isn't fabulously wealthy. Health care. That includes you. That includes me. They want us starving in the streets without food stamps. Give me a break. Tell them to stop fucking around with the American economy. Tell them when you take out a loan, and we have taken out loans to finance 2 Republican wars, you pay your money back. You do not play games with debt crises and shutdowns. This is Howard the Humongous speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job, Republicans in this world or not, to make. And tonight, we don't have to look for the off button, and I can't show you how clumsy I am, because Cody, the videographer, is back.